Hi, I'm Julia, and I teach financial management, which is mostly 11th graders, and I decided to use taxes for my example for this assignment. So, for instructor centered, I chose to go with lecture and demonstration. And for this, I decided to kind of lecture and demonstrate how to do a 1040 Easy W2 and W4. And so students would learn how to do a W2 and W4 on their own, but I would demonstrate how to properly fill out one first and lecture over the different types of deductions that they would see on a paycheck. And then for the interactive part of it, I would start with a class discussion to kind of go over taxes and see kind of if they have any, like if students have any misconceptions regarding taxes, so I know kind of what to go over when I lecture on it. And this kind of like lets students just have a discussion, get them really involved in it before we go into the lecture part. And then for the individualized part, I went with independent projects. So that way students can learn how to fill out W2 and W4 on their own. And they would do this based on this budget game that we'd be playing all semester long. And so they have this kind of persona. So that way it's not just them in high school. And I feel like this would give them more of a future learning experience. So it's not just all of their W2 is just zero or they end up with one deduction because it's just themselves that they can deduct versus if they had kids or a spouse. And I feel like this would help more towards their future. And it's just a little harder and a little more thinking for them. And then for experiential, I went with simulation and games because since they're going and doing this budget project all year long, it's like all semester long, they'll be doing a 1040 Easy with their partner. And this would be also about their persona. So instead of doing an individual W2, they would do a 1040 Easy together. So that way they can kind of bounce ideas off of each other and kind of figure out how to do it. And then it would help them know more so like if they are filing jointly because they're married or if like they're a head of household because they have a kid or whatnot. And then at the end of the semester, they would have to present on this since it's their final project. And then I would ask them if like their filing status has changed since then. And if it has, kind of like explain what's changed and what they would file as now. Just that way it kind of reiterates what the different filing statuses are. And then the major thing that that I had a problem with this one was figuring out what to do for better as an individual or as a group project, and then kind of like what are like some good class discussions to have, or if it's better to have a group discussion. So it's just kind of figuring out what to do for the same topic, but really like teach it different ways. And major takeaway is like really thinking about that for future planning is what are the things that I can do to have each of these methods in my planning for every lesson. So that way kids can really learn it different ways since so many kids learn differently.